Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shraddha. In last video, I have created one folder called playwright_ext and I have showed you how to integrate the playwright in VS Code. In this video, I will tell you how to write the test and how to execute the test. So let's get started. You can see here, this is the folder structure, and in this folder, note_module. This is the by default module created by Playwright, and in this module you can see a lot of modules, packages we can see here. So, and this is the test folder. In this test folder, by default Playwright created example.spec.js. If I double click, I can see here the two tests. One is a test line number 4 and the other test is showing line number 11. So today I will create my own test. So for that, what we need to do, we need to right click on test and select the new file. If we select the new file, it will start to showing the one file option. I can create file here in this way, to right click and select the file, or if we want to create with this icon plus, you can see here the plus, new file, we will click this option and it will give me the option to write or create a new file. So right now I'm going to create a new file, home underscore test, and we will always complete the file with the spec.js extension, and now enter. So this file will open. You can see here home_test.spec.js, and here we can see some text. So if we want to remove these text, what we need to do here, you can see the cursor is blinking here. Just we need to enter and it's completely gone. Now we will start write our own test here. So before we start write the test, I will explain you what we need to do for testing. We need to test one of the site where, let me open it. We need to validate this title and this URL. So basically, if we right click and inspect and Control F, write the title, and you can see here, we can see the title automation exercise, and the same title we can see here. So we need to here validate the title of this page and also the URL of this page. So let me open the code and start writing. First we need to write the require function. In this function, you can see the folder called playwright/test. In this folder, we can see all the packages and other modules. So we need to access all the packages. We need to import this folder here, underscore playwright here, and close with the semicolon. So this is the required function, and in this required function we are importing the playwright test. For that, we need to, in this playwright test, we have to package test and expect. So here we need to use the curly braces test for testing and expect for validation, because we are going to validate the title of the page and title of the page URL. And this we can use here let or const. So I am going to use the const, because const is used for the value is constant, it's not changed, so that's why I'm using the const. And now we are going to write the test block. So for that we are using this test, because we need to achieve the title of the page and also the URL. So first test, and then for that we will use any module name page, and here we will write the anonymous function. So let me explain you. So here we will use in this bracket arrow, which is anonymous function. For that anonymous function we will use here page fixture. So page fixture is basically used to access all the method or function in the playwright. So that's why we are using here page fixture. With the help of page fixture we will access all the required method or function. So now we will, in this test block, we need to write here async keyword. Async keyword is basically used to it's called promise, because whenever we are launching a browser we need to wait, or we need to promise that this browser is going to launch. So that's why we are using the asynchronous, or just like the modern JavaScript or TypeScript, since the browser automation involved in the lot of iOS tasks like loading the page, clicking the button, fetching elements, or using these kind of commands. So we will use the asynchronous. So that's why we are using here the asynchronous keyword, and within this we will use so here use the page fixture. With the help of page fixture dot we will access all the method here. So now we are going to access go to and async. Okay, so one thing we need to use here, whenever we are passing the fixture, we need to always close with the curly braces, because it's mandatory. So we are using the page fixture and then we are passing the curly braces here, and home page here is the separate with the asynchronous page. And then so basically we are importing the packages here, and now in this test block this is the module and page fixture which helps through we can access all the required method and function. And this is the asynchronous because it's promise the page to load. It's promise. So that's why we are using the anonymous function here. And page dot go to, now we can use the, and here it is asking the URL. So what is the URL of this page? We need to copy from here and pass it to here and close with this semicolon. Always close with the, if a statement is complete, you have to close this with the semicolon. And now whenever we are passing here the page picture, we need to use the await keyword. So let me tell you what is the await. So await is basically asynchronous is written the promise, and await keyword is promise to resolve, or before continuing or like saying anything is suppose the browser is going to launch, so it will continue or it will pause until it will not continue, it will pause until the task is finished. So that's why we are using the await keyword. So if asynchronous, the page is going to download or launch, so this await keyword will pause or not continue before completing that task. So that's why we are using the, so this is not work until the page function will not work. So that's why we are using the await keyword. And now we will use the, we need to capture the page dot title function, page dot function, and close this one. And here we will store in the one variable called page title, and this should be const So we need to capture the page title. For that, if we want to print, we will use the console log, console.log, and here we will print the page title. We need to page title. We need to page title. For that, and not the double, we need to use the single quote, and we need to use it. We need to use it not here. We need to use it here. Page title, page title, and then we will need to capture this page title. And I mean, we can write this page title or this console.log if we want to print the page title, but we want to capture or we want to validate the page title. So what we need to do here, this is the test part, test, because we are testing, we are launching the browser, we are